Agents, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Open, Chicago with the lead. Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Touchdown Bears!
It's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to that page as well. Like that page. And now you're following the show's page in addition to Sports Zone Chicago's page. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. Okay, and then click the little bell. That's the notification button, the little bell next to it. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. If you're watching us on our mobile app, wait, you didn't know? You didn't know we had a mobile app? Come on, baby. Listen, we are top notch, first class. Listen, go do what you got to do. Where do you get your apps from? Let me ask you that. Well, go to wherever you get them from, whether it's Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy's, Montgomery Ward, Woolworth, wherever you get your apps from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. Not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but guess what? We give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. And if you're watching this on our Roku channel, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku device in the house, you have a Roku TV in the house, do us a favor. Do us a solid, would you? Download Sports Zone Chicago's tile. Okay, so put it right next to Prime Video, Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus, Showtime, Stars, BET Plus, whatever you have downloaded on your TV, put Sports Zone Chicago's tile right in the middle of all of them. We'd appreciate it. We'd appreciate it greatly. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapper, and TikTok. All one handle at The Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. We have a phenomenal show for you today. And don't forget, today some adjustments today, all right? We are only going 9 to 11 today. So going 2 hours today. Probably for the month of July. So the end of this month and the month of July, once the Bears get back in the full swing of stuff, we'll get back into our 3 hours. So 9 to 11 Central Time today. I don't want you to go, what happened? Why are you leaving? It's only 11 o'clock. Remember, we're going 9 to 11, not 9 to 12 today. All right? We have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive with us. So listen, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, do us a favor, leave a question or comment on that particular platform. It'll come up here in the thread. And we'll get it up on the screen and we'll incorporate it into the show. And you know what? That's what makes this the most bestest. That's an old phrase I just made up. Don't worry about it. The most bestest Chicago morning sports talk show around is you. All right? We want it all. Bring all that smoke. We want questions, comments, smart-ass remarks. Bring them. Bring them. Don't sing it. Bring it, to borrow a phrase from The Rock. Let's see who we got in the chat line already. My man Cornelius Squalls, what up? Vernon Fairley. He's like, happy Monday. This Saturday Sox game was a bit frustrating, but they have the series win. The Big Three was cool, albeit too long. That's what I found. I didn't go to the Big Three yesterday, but that's what I found when we went. A couple years that we did go, it was just long. It's like, all right, how many times you want? How long do you want to sit there and see 3-on-3 games? How many? Vernon, how many games did they have? Let me know. Was it 4, 5? Let me know, because it was far too long when we went a couple of years ago, and it was just like, oh man, oh crazy. But anyway, Vernon Fairley in the Mickey Ficky house. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. What's up, Papa? He's watching. Feliz lunes también, way. And if he's watching, you know what that means. That means Armando Emeterio Lara the fourth, and Jeremiah must be watching as well. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Michelle Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. Happy House Music Monday, baby. You know it. You know it. You know it. House Music Monday. Michelle, thank you for tuning in, Papa. I appreciate it. Oh, there you go, Cornelius. He's saying, good morning, Armando, Patty, Dito, and Jeremiah. There you go. Michelle Walls, I went to the game on Saturday, and you got the basketball jersey. Yeah, I saw it. You posted. I saw it, Papa. I had my people go. I got a text on Saturday evening. They said they got my basketball jersey. I just got to pick it up sometime this week. So that's a nice one. So I'm excited. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will be checking in as the show goes on. When I say we got a phenomenal show, I am not bull jiving. Listen, my man has been working. Listen, let me tell you something. When people tell you believe in yourself, okay, and don't take no for an answer, good things will happen. Okay. My guest today, my man Vic Chokshi. Man, we've been rocking together for years, man. We about 4 years now, maybe 5. Okay. And he's blown up big time. I love it. He is the head of sports betting, at Fox Sports now. And he's all over the country. I love it. Okay. He's really made a name for himself in that sector, in that niche, and it's awesome. I'm so happy for him. I'm so proud of him. The dude is he's dope. All right. But he's a Chicago guy. And you know what? He talks all sports, and that's what's awesome. So Vic Chokshi, 10 o'clock, is going to join us today. We're going to talk a little baseball in Chicago, Cubs, Sox, talk Bears. And if we have time, the Bulls. But hey, that's if we have time. So we will have him on from 10 to 10, about 10:25, 10:30. Okay. And I'm excited to talk to him. It's been a while. He's been flying all over the country, New York, LA. That's what happens when you're important. No way, Junior. Shut the front door. Did you see the Birthplace of House Music? The Warehouse has received historical status over on Randolph Street. Shut the front door. Randolph and Halsted. It was a furniture store, I thought, recently. I haven't been down. I've been down there, but I haven't been to the old warehouse or seen it in a second. So I'll have to go down there and see. Dude, you know what? Let me know where you saw it from, or if you got a like a link so I can read an article on it. So, but dude, that's awesome. That is awesome. I spent many a night in my young 20s, well, in my teens, and young 20s at the warehouse. That is funny. That's awesome. My teens was because I know I told you this. Junior knows the story, but I may have told it on here. So when I came home from college, my freshman year, we moved out of grandma's house, and we were living in Cicero at the time, and we were living with my aunt and her son, my cousin, and he was 4 years older than me. And so I asked him, I was like, "Hey man, do you mind if I, use your?" And now mind you, this is 1990. All right, I'm dating myself here. I was like, "Do you mind if I take your social security card, your birth certificate, and go get a fake ID?" And he's like, "What if you get caught?" I was like, "Well, I'll just tell him we live together, and I stole it from you." He's like, "All right, no worries." So I did. So I go there, and if you've ever been to the DMV on Lexington, right on 290, it's usually crowded, especially on a Monday. For some reason, God's will, whatever, it was not very crowded. I got all the way to the pay. So, you got to fill out forms and this, the heavy weight. I was just cruising. I got all the way back and took my pictures within 15, 20 minutes. I was like, holy cow. So now I'm waiting. They took my picture, and his name is Encarnacion. Tamez is his last name, Tamez, but Encarnacion is his first name. We call him Shawn. And so I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm nervous. I'm freaking out. I'm like, come on, man, call me. And in the background, I hear a name. And if you ever watch Seinfeld, and in the Chinese restaurant episode where they're like, Cartwright, and you hear the name, but it doesn't register. Well, they're calling my cousin's name, or my name, Encarnacion, and they couldn't pronounce it, like Incarnation, and after like the third time, I jumped up. I was like, oh shit, that's my name. That's me. They're calling me. So I was like, I went up, I got the ID. Now, mind you, this is back when they had to laminate them. Do you remember that? The laminators? Because they stood, so the picture inside the plastic ID, then they ran through the laminator. So it was done. So I got it. I was scared to be Jesus walking out. I was like, I don't want to walk too slow. Don't want to walk too fast. So I was trying, and I get to the door, and I'm like, okay, I'm still not out of the woods yet, because I'm waiting for somebody just to go and grab me on the shoulder, like, come back here. I was freaking out. And he's only 4 years older than me. So I was 19. He was 23 at the time. So I could have passed, and they probably weren't thinking. And I get in the car. I'm like, I'm still not out of the clear yet. I drive home. Like I said, we were living in Cicero on Austin. I get in the car. I get home. I drive home. Still not. I get in the house, in the apartment. I get in my room. I lay down, and I'm like, yes. I had a fake ID. I laid down. I was happy. I think I might have been crying. I was so happy. And so I was able to go clubbing from that point on. And so many of my nights out when I was 19, 20, 21, 22 were spent at the warehouse over on Randolph. So the fact that they have received historical status is pretty darn cool. All right. But that's a little insight into me. If you didn't hear that story, that's my part of my crazy upbringing. Levette Lee, she's in the house. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in, I appreciate it. Mr. Soto, he's in the house. Thank you for tuning in, Papa. I appreciate it. Right, the good old days, baby. The good old days. So listen, make sure you tune in 10 o'clock. Vic Chokshi going to join us. He's the head of sports betting at Fox Sports. We're going to talk a wide variety of sports: Cubs, Sox, Bears, maybe Bulls. All right. We might even sneak a little Blackhawks in, just see what the odds are on Connor Bedard. The Blackhawks are going to take him. They're not going to skip over him. I don't even think that's an option. I know they're receiving, they got to be receiving tons of calls for that number 1 pick, but they're just like, no. So, but anyway, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yes, baby. Yes, the first top of the morning topic. What do we got today? What do we have today? Guess what? The Cubs. The Cubs fall to the St. Louis Cardinals 7-5 across the pond in merry old England, in London, baby. It just touched down in London town. Little Kanye song. 7-5 yesterday. They split the series. Saturday was an ass whooping. They destroyed the Cardinals 9-1, and the Cardinals got the revenge yesterday. Marcus Stroman, he got the loss. He's 9-5 on the season. So much for him getting 12 wins before the All-Star break. He went 3 1/3. He got taken out because of a blister on his finger. 3 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 3 of them earned, a walk, 2 punch-outs. Trey Mancini, who had a key error, he was 1 for 1 with a double. His 10th, driving in his 22nd and 23rd RBIs of the year. Nico Horner was 1 for 4 with a double, his 13th, driving in his 39th run of the year. All right. Dansby Swanson, he was 1 for 4, driving in his 34th run of the season. As I said, the Cubs split the series, the London series with, it was the World Series. No, American Series. What was it called? I forgot what it was called. But anyway, they split the series with the Cardinals, and it's just amazing. The Cardinals are just god-awful. God-awful. And they handed it to him. Man, did they hand it to him on Saturday, boy. And let me tell you, it was a cool experience. So I have a lot of friends who are Cub fans, and like God said, we must help the less fortunate, those who don't know any better. But I'm kidding. All kidding aside. No, I know a lot of my friends are Cub fans, and the trips that they went on, like they made it a week. And I thought that was a great, great thing because it was in Europe, because it was in London. All right. There's so many places. London is so condensed, Europe is so condensed. Like you could fit all of Europe inside the United States, and it's not very difficult to get to. A few hours, 6 hours would probably be the max. Okay, by driving. So my guy, big shout out to my guy Julio Sierra, and no relation. Is a DJ, and I forgot what his daytime gig is. Some tech thing, I think. Went on the trip. He rode solo. I thought that was pretty cool. First and foremost, because first of all, once you get there, you're not going to be solo. You're going to be thousands of Cub fans there. All right, so I get it. So cool. But he made a week of it. So he went to Spain. I thought it was cool. Then he went to Paris. So he did all the stuff in Paris, saw the Louvre, the Mona Lisa, the Eiffel Tower. All right. And then he went to London for the games. Saw Big Ben, a whole bunch of stuff. And I thought that was really cool. And he did something. That's why I thought it was cool. He checked it every time he posted on Facebook. He check off my bucket list. I'm like, that's pretty wild. So for Cub fans, it was a pretty cool experience because you got to go, depending on how long you want. If you just went to London, cool. You could check that off your bucket list. And if you did other cities like my guy Julio did, man, you got to check off a couple things. He went to Spain. Like I said, he was in España. No, in Spain. That's how Spanish people speak. Spanish from Spain have a lisp. So Spain, Paris, and then London. He took the channel from Paris to London, which I just thought was so cool. My guy Andy Ortega, he was out there as well. It's good to see our guy Evan Altman was out there as well. You know, Evan comes on here all the time. He got a tattoo. Evan's a tat guy. He got tons of tats. He got a tattoo. It's the crawling Cub bear logo, but inside it had the British flag, which was pretty wild, just to symbolize the Cubs playing in London. So there were a lot of things. I thought it was a good thing for Major League Baseball. I thought it was a good thing for Cub fans. And if you're able to make it, the London series, that's right. If you're able to make it, perfect. That's awesome. You know, and so all the people that I see, all the stories, they're just so excited. So unfortunately, they couldn't get the sweep after the drubbing they handed out on Saturday. It just couldn't get the sweep. But again, a great time was had by all in London. All right. Well, the next top of the morning topic, the good guys. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, baby. The good guys. The White Sox beat the Red Sox 4-1. Schultz, it was a bullpen day, and Schultz didn't start the game. He came in relief. He got the win. He went 4 innings, one of shutout ball, one walk, 3 punch outs. The hero of the day was my mans and them. Lewis Robert. He was on fire. Lewis Robert, he hit not 1, but 2 home runs, 20th and 21st of the season, driving in his 40th, 41st, and 42nd RBIs of the season. You know, I give Lewis a lot of flack, a lot of static, because of, I don't know how bad he wants to be the best. See, there's a couple of ball players, a couple of special people in sports that when they get that's their God-given ability, their talent that they've worked so hard to get to. And Luis Roberts, one of them. Yoan Moncada is another one. Even Eloy Jimenez, as far as hitting goes. And it bothers me, and I give him so much static and so much flack because of the fact that, you know, I don't see him wanting to be the best in the world. Okay? I don't see him wanting to be the greatest. I see him wanting to be good, maybe great, But it seems like to me that his talent, he just relies on his talent, and his talent is so far superior than most players in the show, that he's able to get by and actually do very well. You know, because there's just sometimes his approach is horrible. He's just off, swinging at pitches that are nowhere near the strike zone, and it's frustrating. And then you see this, like yesterday, 2 homers. So that's where my disappointment lies with Luis Robert, with Yoan Moncada, with Eloy. Okay, but man, he had one hell of a day yesterday. Had a couple of nice catches. Well, we know he's got a Gold Glove. All right, so this dude can run like a deer. All right, he had a couple of nice catches yesterday that actually, you know what's so funny? Because of his speed and his phenomenal ability to read it off the crack of the bat, some plays that other center fielders would have to make, and they would be a spectacular play that we would mark. Oh my God, what a phenomenal play! They're routine to him. He gets a great read off the bat, and then he's so fast is that by the time he gets there, now he's coasting. Now he's slowing down, so it doesn't look like he covered a lot of ground, when in all reality he did. So he was the if you picked him, if that was your pick to click yesterday, that was your man. That was a dude. That was a pick to click yesterday, and he did wonders yesterday for the good guys. The Sox won the series with Boston, 2-1. It's their first series win since they beat the Yankees back in the beginning of the month, June 6th, 7th, and 8th. The Sox can't be doing that, man. All right. Just think of if they would have won, they would have lost 4 series in that time. Just think of if they would have split. Okay. So that's 2 more wins. Okay. In the win column. That changes a lot. It changes a lot. We'd be 4 back. We'd be in 3rd place. in front of Detroit, which is only 5. So all these games matter. And my White Sox just have not been able to put it together consistently. And you cannot win 2 series a month and expect to make a move on teams in front of you. You just can't. Even when you're in the AL Central and nobody wants to win that God blessed division. Anyway, the next top of the morning topic, our girls, Chicago Sky. Man, that was a tough one. They fall to the Connecticut Sun yesterday in blowout fashion, 96-72. Man, that was tough. All right. Kalia Copper, 29.7 rebounds. I want to say it was a career high for her. Alana Smith and Courtney Williams each had 11. Marina Mabry, she had 10 points. And unfortunately, right now, the Sky are on a 6-game losing streak. And we knew this was going to happen. We knew that this day was coming. We knew it was going to be rough. When you lose 4 out of your 5 starters, and a team that got you to the semifinals, a team that won a championship 2 seasons ago, return starters for last year, and you lose 4 out of 5 of them, you're going to have some growing pains. And you know what? The Sky are having some growing pains. And it's frustrating. I feel for Coach, but he's got the thing about it, Coach Wade, is that he's also the general manager, so he's got to get the groceries and cook the dinner. So he's got to do a good job of evaluating talent and seeing what players fit best here. So, good luck to them as the season rolls on. But man, this 6-game losing streak, they got to put an end to it. They haven't put an end to it, and they get a chance to on Wednesday when the LA Sparks come to town at the Wintrust Arena. So good luck to the girls. They're going to need it. They've been having a rough season. But listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. All right. On the other side of the break, we have more sports conversations. So don't go anywhere, folks. Just keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
goes Horner. The pitch taken for a strike. Throw to second. They'll never get him. The ball bounces away, and Nico's going to try to go to third. And he will, safely, with a slide.
So here's Dansby Swanson. Runner at third. Infield is back. 2 outs. Just underway here in London. Ground ball right side. Through for a base hit. Horner will score. Swanson picks up a ribby. And the Cubs up in second now. And here's Trey Mancini.
A drive into left center field and deep. Back toward the wall. That ball is going to be off the wall. This will drive in 2 runs. And the Cubs lead 3-0.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of ESPN. That was yesterday. The Cubs in London just touched down in London town. I want to say what's up as other people checking in. I see my guy Luis Mejia. He's up. Good morning, Papa. Rise and grind. Hope you have a great day, my friend. Because I know Luis meal preps, man. And my hat's off to you, Papa. Because if I could meal prep, man, I'd be ripped. But man, it's just I get to like yesterday. I wouldn't have been able to because I had the camp to go to that I worked. I'll talk about that in a second. Then I had a birthday party to go to as well for some of the guys here at Sports Zone Chicago. So I just didn't get a chance to meal prep. My girl Monica, how are you, dear? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I love every time my peoples check in and support me. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and I'm smiling like a little schoolgirl on the inside. Anyway, but yesterday was tough. It was fun. I went to the DJ Moore camp. I can't put pictures up there. We're not allowed to. Like not on this. I put them on my Facebook page. But it was good. It was good to it was really cool to see wide receiver 1. Now, DJ Moore is not much taller than me. He's about 6. I would say the tallest 6'1", but he's probably like 6 feet, just a shade under 6'1". All right. It got me excited because of the possibilities. Because I'm thinking in my head, man, I'm like, holy she's like, this is the dude. Like, I'm going to be watching this dude. I'm happy because we finally have a number 1 receiver. I wasn't starstruck because I've been around athletes and actors and actresses and all this millionaires and billionaires, and that's fine a lot of my life. I was more excited because now he's like the missing piece. One of the missing pieces, but a huge piece. A true number 1 wide receiver for Justin Fields. And getting to interact with him. So what was really funny was, peep this. What was really, really funny. So we had his little daughter out there, Ariel. Okay, she's 3 years old. Cute, beautiful little girl. Beautiful girl. Just full of life, full of energy. Just full of energy, like a 3-year-old person would. 3-year-old kid would. So opening day, Saturday, was the first day of the camp. And, they had coaches there. They each gave us our own little group. And so he's walking out on the field, a group, just talking to him. I had my back to him. All of a sudden, I turn, I hear her coming. I'm like, I just didn't want to know where I didn't want to hit her. I heard her behind me. So I turn, and she looks at me, and she smiles. She's like, Daddy, I want to go in this group. He's like, you want to go in this group, honey? He's like, yeah, I want to go in this group. So she didn't even say, I want to go in this group. But she turned away from him, ran, sat in the back of the line in that group because I only had 4 kids in my group. And sat in the back of the line, like legs Indian style or legs crossed, crisscross applesauce for my PE, my kindergarten teachers, just like everybody else in line. She's like, I want to be in this line, in this group. He's like, okay, honey. So she was in my group Saturday and Sunday. She came back on Sunday and she's like, hi. She goes, this is my group. And just plopped herself in. And it was so funny. So DJ kind of hung around our group. I mean, he was good with everybody. But he came around a couple extra times just to make sure she was okay. And her mom came out there once or twice, and her grandmother came out there once or twice just to make sure she was good. And it was hilarious. She was just running things. Nice. You could tell she's going to be athletic. She was catching the football as well. And it was great. But I was happy because I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, man, you are the missing piece. All right. You are exactly what the Bears needed. Exactly what Justin Fields needed. Like, there's no question about it. Okay. There's no question who's the number one receiver now. There's no if, maybes, ands, or buts. When you game plan, you're going to have to game plan around this guy. And for Justin Fields and for the Bears, it's such an important thing. You look at every great quarterback, they have a number one receiver. They have a dude who makes the Pro Bowl. They have a dude who's guaranteed 1,000 yards a year. They have a dude. And now Justin Fields has that dude. Justin Fields has that dude. And let me tell you, it was so good to see. And you know how high I am on the Bears. You know how I'm really, really looking forward to the season starting, because I can't wait to see these two in action. And don't get me wrong, they're not the only reason this team's going to win. No, but that's a huge part. Okay, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. All right, Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill for a long time. All right, Kirk Cousins has Justin Jefferson. All right, you get stud receivers. Okay, and it helps. You know, as much as we love the 85 Bears and we love running the ball and tough defense, that's great. But this is a passing league now. This is a passing league. And you must have a stud quarterback. And you must have a legit number one receiver if you're going to compete at any level. I mean, if that's the case, why in God's name didn't the Tennessee Titans won a Super Bowl? They have the best running game in the league for a couple of years going with Derrick Henry. It's a passing league. And the Bears have conformed, all right, drafting Justin Fields. And we were talking yesterday because I was hanging out with Ben and Damani. So if you follow the Smoke Fellas, and first of all, if you don't follow the Smoke Fellas, make sure you follow those guys. Watch them. They have a Facebook page. They're here on Sports Zone Chicago. They're on every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. They're phenomenal. It's straight barbershop talk, straight bar talk. You know what I mean? Bar, and I love it. So it was Ben's birthday yesterday. I was talking with some of the guys there yesterday, and I was saying, you know, people who don't know football, but pretend like they know football. Like, I can't talk to them. You know, because they talk about, well, he's running quarterback, and even in the media, this is what bugs me about the media. They're still questioning whether he's a good passer or not. And I'm thinking, did you watch him at Ohio State? Did you watch him at all at Ohio State? Did you see? He didn't run the ball. He didn't have to. All he did was pick teams apart. He got to the college football playoffs both years. He got to the title game his last year at Ohio State. But he had players. He had Garrett, the kid from who's on the Jets now. He had Chris Olave. He had Marvin Harrison Jr. He had all these different receivers, and he had a stud offensive line. He had stud running backs. He had talent. So when he has talent around him, he can sit there and just be himself, which is great. And now the Bears have addressed the offensive line. They've addressed the running game. They've addressed the lack of a number one receiver in the DJ Moore trade. Watch. Just watch. You don't have to listen to me. What the hell do I know? I only played 30 years and coached 16. Watch how crazy this year is going to be. And that's why I'm telling everybody, you better listen. You better wait and watch week 3 at Kansas City. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if the Bears beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. Don't be surprised. Don't be. I'm telling you now. So, but the camp was awesome. It was great to see, and his interaction with the kids, DJ Moore, was amazing. Amazing. You know, he came over and took over our 7-on-7 game and just had the kids running around. It was hilarious, which was perfect because I didn't have to do anything. I have to coach at that point. It was his hell. It's his camp. His name's on the T-shirt. Okay, there you go. So he really spent a lot of time with the kids, and it was awesome. Then yesterday after that, I came home, took a nap because I was tired because I had to go. I had to stop by and say hello to my guys. It was their birthday. Ben, Mr. Smokefellow himself, Bernard Mull, Ben Mull. His birthday is actually today, so happy birthday, Ben. And Lucky's birthday was Friday. So they both turned 50. So it's from them. This is from yesterday at the spot. And I was happy to get one shot with my man Lucky Luciano. And then, of course, Mr. Smokefellow himself, Ben Mull. KDL was there too. Angry Man Sly was there too. It was good to see it. I got pictures. I just didn't upload it because it wasn't their birthday. But great time yesterday with those guys. Celebrating their 50th birthday. That's why my voice is a little hoarse. If you hear it, it's not as smooth as it usually is. And let me tell you something. I know I know people understand this and know this. So it's going to be like, duh. But let me just reiterate this again. Whenever you have a party, the music is key. The music is key. Okay? Their boy, and you see him on the Smokefellow sometimes, their DJ DY Nemesis. Okay? He shows up. He a guest appears on their show every so often. Whenever Sly's out of town and can't make it, DY will come on. Let me just tell you, DY had that party jumping. I don't know. Let me repeat myself. Jumping. I mean, people were just dancing constantly. And there was always one group dancing. One group was dancing, then the other group was sitting down. And then when the group was sitting, who was dancing, got tired, they sat down. Other people got up and started dancing. It was just, he had it jumping. He went different genres. It was mostly R&B, hip hop, but he went back. I mean, you talk about, man, stepping music, house music, R&B, hip hop. It was jumping. Big shout out to DY for the music yesterday for Ben and Damani's 50th birthday. It was, tell you, that's why my voice is the way it is. Hang with those fools. Hanging with those fools was awesome. Awesome. So big ups again to Ben Mull, whose birthday actually is today. Happy birthday, Ben. I love what you do with the Smoke Fellows here on Sports Zone Chicago. And happy birthday, Lucky Lefty, my mans and them. I got to meet Lucky's parents yesterday, and they watch his show every Saturday too. And I love it. You know, those are your peoples. All right. Like my guy, Junior, and his family watch every show. That's what friends, they support. And his parents will watch it religiously. Lucky's parents watch it every weekend. So I got to meet his mom and dad yesterday, and that was really, really, really cool. So I had a blast in my Peeps yellow polo. I look like a Peeps from Easter. I like it. It's summertime, baby. It's summer. Bright colors. I don't care if I look like a Peeps. Oh man, it was that was dope. That was really, 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 really dope. Right now, the White Sox are in a state of flux. Okay, they're, if you're trading, they're in a convergence. Okay, they just keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. They don't go up, they don't go down. They're just moving along. They win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win two, lose two, win two, lose two, win three, lose three. they're just going nowhere fast. And that's the thing that's frustrating. Okay. We got a big win over Boston. Now, a serious win, I should say, over Boston. I get it. Boston is not very good. They're 40-39. Okay. They're still over 500 by a game. Okay. But any series is a good series. Any series that we win is a good series, and we need to continue to do that. Now we need, because of the fact that we decided to wait, and we need to go on a win streak. Give me another 5 or 6 game win streak. That's cool. But I'm going to need this team to go on a win streak, a series win streak after the All-Star break. All right, there'll be a couple of sweeps in there if they do that. But that's what this team needs to do. The Sox are only 6 games back. And that's the thing, is they keep you holding on by a string, hanging on by a string, having you believe, all right, we got it. And no, they don't. Then something else will happen. All right, then Eloy's going to get hurt. Then Yo-Yo's going to get hurt again after he comes back because he's hurt now. This team is beyond frustrating. So they definitely have a chance to take this division. Minnesota leads the division 1 game over 500. They're 40-39. Now, mind you, the Sox are 11 games under 500, which is why they need to go on a win streak. You give me a 5 or 6 game win streak, man, that changes big time. Big time. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know if these guys have the mental fortitude. I don't know if they have the physical fortitude. All right, Tim Anderson is still having a rough year. A lot of off the field issues are creeping their way into his play on the field. Okay, and yes, those are self-inflicted, most of them, but it's still an issue with Tim Anderson. Moncada still hurt. Luis Robert still not trying to be the best. Our pitchers, Cease is good, not as good as last year. Kopech is good. I was hoping he'd be. No, he's been pretty good. It's not. Lucas Giolito's been much better, but it's a contract year for him. So, why do players always wait until the contract year for them to have a great season? That's bothersome. Continue to have the season once you're signed. Not, oh, well, I got to play good so I can get money for my next contract. And then after you get your next contract, then you go back to mediocre. Again, for me, it's about wanting to be the best. It's about understanding the approach, understanding understanding and loving the process. All right. So when you get to a 1-0 pitch, like, okay, I know I have a mindset of this. If I get to an 0-1 pitch, I have a mindset of this. So, and just dominating and understanding each situation. I'm talking as a pitcher. And sometimes I don't see that. Sometimes I feel that they don't see it. Sometimes I think emotion takes over, especially with Lucas. And as a pitcher, you have to, in sports for the most part, you got to keep your emotions in check. Okay, unless you get a big base hit, all right, a big homer, a big strikeout, a big throw 'em out, phenomenal catch in the field. Okay, I get it. But for the most part, you got to stay even keel, and that's what the issue that the White Sox are having. So we'll see. On the north side, they're inching closer and closer to 500. They're 2 games under. Okay. They would be at 500 if they won yesterday. But they're close. And we talked about this yesterday as well. The culture, I've mentioned it here plenty of times. The culture here is good. The culture there is, I wish that culture was on the south side. I'll tell you that right now. And it's unfortunate yesterday Marcus Stroman had to leave with blister on his finger. All right. And then Trey Mancini with that untimely error. You know what happens. All right. It happens. But you can't This is where teams, and they put up numbers. They put up 5 runs. Okay. Just wasn't enough. That error really, really, really helped the Cardinals get by. But you've lost it. All right, it's over and done with. All right, now you got to move on. Now you got to move on. The Cubs are en route back to the States. All right, they're coming back home. They open, I believe, a 6-game set. They got Philly tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the Cleveland Indians. I'm sorry, the Cleveland Guardians come to town on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, they could help the White Sox out by sweeping Cleveland. That would be nice. But Cleveland's good too. I shouldn't say good. Cleveland's in second place, 37-40, 3 games under 500. All right, and they're in second place. Just goes to show you how terrible this AL Central is. Just horrible. Horrible. But it just means that there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. and the way that they're playing, they have a more legitimate chance of taking this division than the White Sox do because they're so close. I still think the White Sox have a great chance, but I just think the Cubs is better to take their own division. All right, you get these youngsters who are playing great baseball, fundamentally sound baseball, getting key hits in high leverage situations. You know, you got the Morel kid, you got the Talkman kid, all right, and you still got Ian Happ, and you got Swanson, and you got guys who are cagey vets, along with exciting, exuberant young stars, young talented players. I want to say stars, young talented players. The pitching's doing is much better, man. If they can get Tyone to start pitching well, man, that's a great 3. That's a great 3. You know, unfortunately, Marcus Stroman had to leave with the blister, but Marcus Stroman, the professor, you get Tyone. Okay, Wisniewski's got to step up a little. Smiley's got to step up a little. And that's the frustrating part on both sides of town. Like, there's talent there. Now, I'm not talking talent on either side of town. No, not at all. But I'm saying talent to get us to the playoff, to win our division is it. I think in the big scheme of things, we're not very talented on either side. Or not. The White Sox are talented. We're not very good. So on either side of town, we're not very good. But, you know, the Cubs are doing the best with what they have. They probably need 1 or 2 more guys. But the mentality that they have is the thing that's keeping them afloat. They refuse to go down. They adhere to the fundamentals. Good pitching, good defense, timely hitting. It's got them. I know they're in 3rd place, right? But yeah, 3 games back. Milwaukee's a half game back. But it got them in the mix. And if you play fundamentally sound baseball, good defense, good pitching, you're going to be in a lot of games. And you're going to be in it down the stretch. And you know what? The Cubs are going to be in it down the stretch. David Ross, all the David Ross haters, I don't hear you anymore. Where did you go? You're just yelling, fire him, fire him, fire him. And all of a sudden, where are they at now? I don't hear very many David Ross detractors, haters. I don't know where they went. But this team is going to be battling it out. You just see the passion. You see the at-bats. You see the way that they play. It's a different level than it is on the South Side. And that's bothersome because that's my team, the South Side. That's my squad. But this the culture that's there, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan. And I talked to you about it on my rant. Rick Hahn, this has to do with Rick Hahn. All right? Not hiring a manager a strong manager. A manager that the front office cannot control. A World Series winning manager. You had Ozzie, you had Bruce Bochy. You could have interviewed Bruce Bochy. You could have interviewed Madden. Could have interviewed Girardi. All these guys are World Series winning managers, and you chose not to hire them. That bullshit interview you gave with Ozzie, that was a platitude. That was a platitude just to appease the fan base. So the culture on the South Side is horrible. The culture on the North Side is one that's conducive to winning. It's conducive to winning. So, you know, as the season draws out or plays on, I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm not going to be watching a lot of baseball. I'll probably go into a game or two, but I'll even go to Game Time and as a secondary markers and buy tickets from them because they're cheaper. And I know the White Sox will have already gotten the money, but so what? That's fine. That's fine. I'm not giving it to them directly. I feel better about that. But let's take a quick break, because on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my guy, Vic Chalkshy. Man, my man's moving on up like George and Wheezy. He is the head of sports betting over at Fox Sports. Man, he's doing it and doing it and doing it well. We're going to talk a couple things. Talk a little baseball with him. Talk a little Bears with him. Like I said, if we get a chance, talk a little Bulls. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. My man Vic Chalkshy from Fox Sports is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down the field. And Crawford. Still running. Make one way. Fields stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Everybody in a work zone is someone somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Order up. Thank you. When I want to give up, I try to focus on getting to the next minute, then the next hour, and the next day.
It might not seem like it right now, but there are people out there like me who want to listen and support you for the long haul.
And I found someone to talk to, someone who listened.
You are not alone.
Hey, this is Dr. J, and I listen to Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Economical with his pitches today. And that will be a 14 pitch. 1, 2, 3. There's strike 3. High heat out of the. And that one's tipped into the gloves. Called strike 3. That ball's hit well into right center field. Duvall back at the track and the wall, and it does clear the fence.
It should.
How about that? An absolute rocket in a heartbeat.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. And you see why I get so fired up? You see why the hair on my arm stands up? When you have talent like that, that anytime you step to the plate, he's becoming one of those guys that you have to stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. You got to stop him when he's up to bat. You have to. Because that second home run, pitcher tried to sneak a fastball inside. That wasn't in the zone. It was inside. He pulled his hands in. First of all, you got to pull your hands in. How many people have strength to get it out of the park? Not just out of the park, but a rocket like that one was. But he doesn't do it consistently. That's where I get pissed. That's where I get frustrated. That is why if I had hair, I swear to goodness, I'd pull it out. My first guest, man, good to see him back home. Man, you never know where this guy's at. LA, New York, Miami, Dallas, Toronto, London, Fiji. There's gambling in Fiji too, so who knows? Man, he's a good friend of the program, and I can't wait to chop it up with him. Man, he is the head. I told you earlier, he's been moving on up like George and Wheezy, baby. He's the head of sports betting at Fox Sports. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. He's the head honcho. Come through me. You can find him on Twitter at DocSquad33. Guys, let's welcome back our guy, Vic Chokshi. Vic, what's up, Papa? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Always a pleasure to be on, and I wish I can go to some of those spots that you mentioned, man. That's the dream. That's the dream.
Trust me, you'll get there. There's gambling in all those spots, so you should bring it up. Say, you know what? I need to go to Bora Bora, and just to make sure they're gambling enough over there for us. For the Fox Sports
I will
app.
bring that up in my next one-on-one for sure.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Man, good to have you back as always. You know, I love talking with you, man. I love talking sports with you. You know, one of the reasons is that I love talking sports with you is like you're knowledgeable in all sports. You know, you're not secluded into I'm just a baseball guy, I'm just a basketball guy, I'm just a football guy, you know, and it's always fun talking to you, which is why I love having you on as much as I can. Talk to me. You saw the clip coming out of the break with the White Sox. Frustrating, disappointing. Talk to me about this season. Do you think they have a legit chance to come back and get this division? They're 6 games back. Nobody wants this damn division. Nobody's running away with it.
Yeah. They
have the talent. They have the most talent in the division, but they just don't put it together. Your thoughts on, and will they be able to come back and take this AL Central?
It's interesting because, I mean, you and the diehard Sox fans know this. Jerry loves this team more than he loves the Bulls, and he loves this squad more than anything. And so I think they keep it together, and they're going to try to add and make a run because of that. Now, on the flip side, if it was me or any logical person, I would start over, man. I would start over. I think they are underachieving. They're frustrating to watch. Admittedly, I'm a Cubs fan, but I have a ton of Sox fans that are my boys, and each of them has said this is probably the most frustrating year that they've had as a Sox fan, which is saying something, right? And you know, the same feelings that you had coming out of that clip is literally how every Sox fan feels watching every single game this year, right? And throw in last year as well. And so to me, I think it's time to kind of start over a little bit, but on the flip side, I just don't see Jerry doing it, man. I think they're going to go down firing this year and try to give it one more run just because of how much he loves the squad.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they win, like they'll have a big series. And granted, Boston's a game or two over 500, so it's not like they're world beaters. But the name Boston Red Sox gives you a much better feeling and maybe even a false sense of security because it's just the name Boston. They're not very good this year. But hell, well, the last time we won a series was what, the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June. I mean, you can't go in if you're going to win a division, you can't win 2 series a month. You just can't do it. That's not going to get it done.
Especially
but they do it.
Catch up. So yeah, you're right.
So, but when they do it against a big team, a big name market like Boston, fans get excited, and then then you go and we got who's next? We got a 4-game set, don't we, against the Dodgers? I mean the Angels. So we're traveling to Southern SoCal, and now what do we do there? Do we split? Do we win 3 out of 4? Do we lose 3 out of 4? Here's where we're going to get tested, and it's frustrating because as I said. As I said before, you've got Yoan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, and Luis Robert Jr. Those guys should be stealing all-star MVP votes from each other every single year. That's how talented they are, and they just don't. Talk to me though about the manager. I like the hire because first of all, I wanted Ozzie. You know me, and I love Ozzie. I think Ozzie would be the best fit for this team. But it was evident that Rick Hahn is not going to hire a World Series manager, a guy who he can't control. Which is why they didn't bring in Bruce Bochy. Why would you bring in him? He's only taking his Texas Rangers to the top of the AL West. No Madden interview, no Joe Girardi interview. All these World Series champion managers who would basically say, hey, F you, you're not making the lineup. I am. Yeah. Talk to me about how you feel about not bringing a World Championship or World Series winning manager in here when you had the opportunity. There were 4 of them out there to interview and hire one of them, and he did not. He wanted a puppet.
Yeah, so I don't know. You do a lot of these shows, so you probably don't even remember, but we had a conversation like this when the job was up for grabs, and I was 100% behind exactly everything that you talked about. Whether it's Ozzie or whether it's bringing in someone proven to take this team to the next level, because the talent is there. It's time to win, right? Like, this is it. You can't go with someone that's inexperienced or doesn't have that World Series talent if you are legitimately trying to win a World Series with all the pieces in place. And so wasn't a fan of the hire. And so far, there's no one out there that can say it was a good hire, right? Like, you're 6 games back, you're struggling, you're seeing
11 games under.
Yeah. And you're seeing a lot of the same stuff that you saw last year, right? That was kind of one of the biggest reasons to move on, was to correct some of those things. And for him to have a better feel with some of the younger talent that's on the squad, and things are going to change. But to me, we're seeing a lot of the same recurring issues, and so far it's been a failure. And so again, that's going to be another big thing. Other than what they need to do at the deadline, is are they going to move on after a year? When the rumors come out and then the big brass are quick to shoot it down, it's almost like the opposite a lot of times, as me and you know and have seen, right? And that's kind of what happened. And so, that's going to be another thing to keep an eye on. And I think it all just depends on what direction they go. If they're going to go with a complete start over, then they might just start over when it comes to the skipper as well, right? If they're going to try to add to the squad and put it together and have some continuity, then they might run it back. But at the end of the day, I think me and you have seen a lot of Chicago sports as owners, management. They're just going to be they don't want to be left looking stupid. And this is like one of those moves where it's going to come back to them. Fans and everybody's going to be like, well, you guys are the ones that made this decision. You guys are the ones that hired him over World Series managers, Ozzie, everyone else. So they might just keep him so that they don't look dumb ultimately, which is not the right way to do things. And that's not in your pay grade, because we would be running some of these squads. But that's how, certain people and people with money and wealth and power think sometimes, right? So I don't know, man. It's a tough situation. It's kind of like, we can transition to Jerry's other team if you want to, the Bulls, in a little bit. But, again, last time I was on your show, I told you that this was going to happen. Like, we were going to lose our pick. We're not going to be able to add any talent via the draft. We don't really have a lot of money, and they're stuck in the worst position because it's not a championship level team, right? And so, again, there's a lot of decisions that are going to be coming up.
Bro. You got Billy Phillips.
I like the kid. He's super athletic, right? But is he really going to come in and put us over the top? Like, he's a project, right? And so you get him, you get the big guy to UConn, which is nice, but we're still so far away from being a championship contender. And that's what breaks my heart is you just have no ways to improve more than anything, right? And now Lonzo's going to be out for the rest of the year, which also kills me because I just think he's an awesome player and a good dude. But you saw the team without him. It's been a losing team without Lonzo on the floor, and now you're going to kind of run it back is probably what's going to happen, and they're going to push to the fans that next year we'll have a lot of money and draft capital. The story that we've all heard many times since
ad nauseum.
Yeah, so that's what I see happening, man. So I don't know. I just don't see the Bulls or the Sox being in position of giving fans hope. On the flip side, the Bears and the Cubs are kind of in a good position where we have some potential and we have some things that we can get excited about.
You're right with the White Sox and the Bulls. You sit there and you wonder, and it's unfortunate. Like they're literally mirror images of each other. But I will say this: I do see AK's vision. All right, I see Vooch. Okay. They're gonna try and go get Vooch. All right, you look at Denver because my whole thing was okay. He just put this Denver team that won the title together. That's it. That's his fingerprints are all over that bad boy.
Yep.
Okay, so where's it here? So you look at Vooch. He's a poor man's Joker because he can hit a three. He can bang down low a little bit. He can facilitate. We've seen him with phenomenal passes. Okay, I got that. Well, I need my shooters. Where's our Aaron Gordon? Where's our Michael Porter Jr.? And like, okay, well, P. Will. All right, well, P. Will's got to do a much better job of being a three-point shooter. Colby was hot for a while. He was really, he's definitely improved his game. Okay, I can see that. The point guard that's the issue. When they had Lonzo Ball, they had the best record in the East. Okay, sure. Granted, other teams were down for whatever reason, but you know what? No one gives a damn when we're hurt. So I don't care when other teams are hurt. Or I'm not going to qualify it by saying, well, they were hurt. Hey, you know what? It's a grind. All right. So we had the best record in the East until he got hurt. We haven't replaced that. How happy were you that they just came out and said he's going to miss next season? Because now there's no confusion. There's no maybe. There's no hope. There's no. We don't have to. Now we can go say, okay, now we need a point guard. What are the two most things? What do you want from a point guard? Because Lonzo Ball gave you the ability to run the show, great defense, and a really good three-point shooter. It's going to be tough to find a point guard with all three of those things. What two would you settle for in a point guard that the Bulls go after?
Yeah, no, you bring up great points. And listen, man, we were first in the East, and I understand his logic, and we did start to build stuff, and it was exciting. It was an awesome year last year. The thing that kills me is just I know this, you know this. A lot of people everybody inside that building knew Lonzo wasn't going to play last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so going into that year, they knew they had that weakness at point guard, and they knew they didn't have 3-point shooting, and it bit them in the ass, right? Like that's all we want. We're not asking, fans aren't stupid. Like we saw all of these deficiencies when Lonzo went out for that half a season. And so that's all we wanted was improvements in those areas, and to not address that. And then at the trade deadline, not picking a lane, almost losing your pick, you could have just let it ride out and gotten the top 4 pick, and you'd be fine this year. You'd be great. Like, hey, we had injuries. We suffered some, bad luck almost. And now we're going to retool and replenish. But to me, how are we going to be able to do that? You're not going to get a guy at Lonzo's level now because of the situation that we're in, right? And so, yes, Cornelius, you bring up a good point. Mo Bamba, by the way, I was on a plane with this guy, nice guy.
Mo Bamba, that's dope.
Yeah, sitting next to me, poor guy sitting in coach. So he's like, a grinder. He's a grinder almost, but I have no clue how he's sitting in coach. But I like that idea, Cornelius. I think we might have gotten a similar player to Mo Bamba, maybe from UConn in the draft, right? But to me, point guard and 3-point shooting is going to be big. I'd love to see us get like a Seth Curry or someone that can help. And to answer your question, sorry for the long rant, Shawn, I would love to see a guy that can really control the floor. I know people are not going to love that answer because you want scoring and you want 3-point shooting, but a guy that can run the offense and make DeMar and Zach play up to their potential. Almost like a project manager or floor general, someone that can put them in their place and someone that can get us back to how the offense was humming before Alonzo went down. And the reason I bring that up is all of us see it. Zach and DeMar just take turns now, right? And they're literally the body language of them, the team, everything is a little bit different when Lonzo's not there because they have they have to put the weight on their shoulder. They have to score. Who else is going to score on this team? So I don't blame them for trying to gun, but at the same time, the offense is just broken. You just see a stagnant dribble, 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 take an insane shot, and they're that good that they hit crazy shots, right? But that's not going to work in the playoffs. And so I'd love to see a real point guard that's a floor general that can run the offense and play, either do the other two things that you said, play defense or shoot the three. But just overall, we need a lot more 3-point shooting. I think the other killer that me and you talked about was just even last year, even last 2 years, you have your big three that literally scores 85 points a game, 90 points a game. It's just a math problem. Everybody else is hitting threes while you're hitting twos. They're making tough shots. They're playing well. They're scoring 90 points a game at times, and we're losing those games by a significant amount to teams that are not even as good as us because other teams are just chucking away at three, and that's the new NBA, and you have to adapt to that NBA, right? And so even the team that he put together, they could shoot the three ball. They had a bunch of guys surrounding the Joker, right, that can shoot the three, and that's what we need to do. And we need to change our offensive philosophy. Our defense was pretty good by the end of the year. We were top 10 in most metrics. And so for us, point guard, 3-point shooting, I'd love to see that. But again, now you're stuck. How are you going to add those pieces? Either you got to break it up, trade someone, or you're going to have to sit through this team for another year and then kind of address all of these issues when DeMar's off the books. Maybe you trade Vooch to a contender and kind of roll from there.
Guys, we're joined by Vic Choksi, head of sports betting over at Fox Sports, talking just Chicago sports, little White Sox, little Cubs, little Bulls right here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, man, it's frustrating because I think they have some pieces, but I think I'm waiting for Patrick Williams to develop. We've been saying that for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But I think Kobe stepped up. I think he's developed. He became a much better 3-point shooter. And if Patrick Williams could be a dead-eye 3-point shooter, 3-and-D guy, man, now we got one of those pieces. And then, and for me, the point guard, the traits that I want a point guard to have are running the floor and 3-point shooting. All right, so we don't have to worry about specialists and things because if you run the floor, you can facilitate. So when you got that wide open three, when they collapse, if someone comes out and leaves the man under the hoop open, boom, you just get it to him, easy bucket. And that was one of the things that really bothered me. You talked about the math, all right, 3s over 2s, 3s over 2s. Yeah, I get it, but you weren't making a lot of 3s. So why wouldn't you make at least some 2s if you're 1 for 9 from beyond the arc? Why aren't you driving to the hole? And that's the thing that bugged me. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, some of the shit that they're doing is like literally grammar school stuff. If you can't hit the 3-point shot, go to the hole, get fouled, get a 3 throw, get free throws, get a rhythm. Remember, that's what Mike would do whenever he was off. He's like, all right, let me just go to the hole. If I make it, it's an and one. If I don't, I get to the line, I get my rhythm back, I get rhythm, and now I can start hitting some jumpers. Why is this not so common to people? Why keep shooting 3-point shots and hitting 28, 30%? You're like, oh my God, you're killing me. Stop shooting goddamn threes, Vooch.
Yeah. You bring up good points, and I think two guys have to take the next step at getting to the line more. One, Zach. Obviously, me and you have seen this guy play ball. We've seen him. We've sat up close to this guy, and he's just an electric offensive talent. At any point in the game against any team, I've literally sat courtside and watched this guy play and just watched Zach for the entire game. He goes into these spurts where at any point, if he honestly wanted to drive the ball and get fouled or dunk on someone, he could. That's just being honest, right? Like, he needs to be more aggressive. And I know he was coming off a knee injury. And so we have to kind of take that with a grain of salt. And he showed us how good he can be inconsistently in the second half of the season. But when you watch those games, when the guy is on and when he can get to the line, he's one of the best offensive players in the game. So he needs to step up, get into the line, and you nailed it with Pat. I'm a little bit of a Pat Williams apologist because, first year COVID, and that was very different for rookies. He missed everything. Second year, he missed everything with his injury. And last year, we did see some really good spurts. I've also seen that and you've seen it and we've read about this, but mentally is where I think this guy needs to get better. And I hope he works
Bingo.
with DeMar and some of these guys, because the games that Zach and DeMar do not play, Patrick Williams scores like 25.
Goes ham. He goes ham.
Easy.
He looks like a star out there.
Whether it's summer league or last couple of years when those guys have been out or they're resting, I mean, the kid looks like the real deal. You see the flashes. He's got the body, of course, but he could shoot the 3 ball. But he's aggressive. It's all mental.
Yes.
When those guys are not there, when those guys are playing, he literally stands in the corner and is just waiting for a 3. Like that. I love this squad so much. It's kind of a sickness, but I'll watch and replay stuff. And I just watch guys sometimes, and I'll watch the entire game, and he's just standing there. Like, if he's going to stand there, he's not going to be the player that we need him to be. So otherwise, the coaching staff needs to teach him to, like, hammer the boards, right? This is a big, powerful dude. He gets 2-3 boards a game, some games.
Yeah.
Like
I'll get 2-3 boards a game.
Yeah. Any of it, just off of pure hustle. So they need to either change the game where he learns how to cut, crash the boards, and help this team with the way it's constructed, or he needs to step up mentally. And so this is a big year for him, and I'd love to see him make that jump, because there's no reason this guy can't score 15 points a game. Like,
None.
He's got all the talent in the world. He's got the size, the strength. He's literally built like a man. I remember his rookie year, like LeBron, Kawhi, some of these guys he was guarding literally all had really good things to say about him. They were like, this guy's a physical specimen. Like, he was guarding me in the block and he was strong enough to hold me there. And this is coming from some of the best guys. So he needs to put it together, make us get that piece that we really need, because, otherwise the roster is constructed. It's going to be tough to take that next step. I will agree with you. Kobe had a great year. As much as people want to hate on Kobe because he's not living up to their standards, he had a really, really good year. He showed consistency. I still think Kobe's a terrific 6-man, and that's like his role, and that's where he needs to be. So if we can get a point guard that can do everything that you said, P. Will can take the next step, stay injury-free. Yes, we'll have a chance, but are we a championship contender? I still think we're a couple pieces away from that for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we're joined by Vic Chalk, head of sports betting at Fox Sports, talking Chicago sports here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Let's talk about some good stuff, man. The Bears. I worked at DJ Moore camp this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and I was just giddy like a little girl, like you are. And not because it's a football player. I party with football players, but it's because we finally have our number 1 receiver for Justin. We finally have that dude. We finally have a dude who's averaged 1,000 yards over his 5-year career. We have a dude who you have to double team. You have to game plan around this dude. This is the dude. We haven't had this since Brandon Marshall. Okay. And now that we've talked to me about how excited you are after fortifying the line, after adding the running backs and creating a hell of a running back room, after getting DJ Moore and taking less pressure off Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney, adding Tyler Scott. Talk to me about your excitement going into this season with the Bears now as before the draft.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed my excitement when it comes to the offense, man. I think that, one, this is it for Justin now, right? Like, continuity in the offense, same play caller, fortifying the line. Like, you have some monsters on that line now. And now adding a guy like DJ Moore, adding Tyler Scott to already Chase and Darnell. To me, DJ Moore is probably the most that I'm excited about this year, other than seeing Justin take that next step, is because, as you know, as a lifelong Bears fan, we've all seen the graphic about how many quarterbacks we've had in Chicago, which is 100% true. But take a look at wide receiver. We've never had a kid. I can go back and talk about like Marcus Robinson, right? Mushin Muhammad after his prime. And then we had Brandon Alshon for a year. But other than those guys, I don't see where you've ever had like a superstar receiver. And that's what I'm most excited about. I mean, the stuff coming out of camp, the stuff that you've told me, a bunch of other people that have been there, they've never seen a receiver this good in a Bears jersey almost. Is kind of what the word is around the street, right? Like, everybody's in awe. He's making unreal catches. And I think that also makes Justin step up his game. I think that'll also help the receivers step up their game. Like, hey, this is a big dog. We need to fall in line and fall in order. And really, that's a lot of things that I've heard from coaches and leaders is you got to have that guy because that's what pushes everybody else. Because sometimes if everybody's in the same group, they all feel like they're the guy, right? And then you get a little bit of this tussle. When you have a big dog and the order is set, he makes everybody else step up their game, and that's what I'm most excited to see. I'm excited to see him take some deep balls. I'm excited to see him open up the field for everybody else, including Justin, like obviously running, but then now we get to see Darnell and Chase. Like, what are you made of? You guys aren't getting double teamed anymore, right? Because this guy's taking
Exactly.
all of that pressure from you. So can you play at a high level? Are you worthy of the money that we want to give you, right? So those are all of the things that I'm super excited to see is the offense. I do think the defense gets better this year. If they can be an average defense, I'll be happy with the talent that they have. But there's no excuses for this offense not to kind of take the next step this season. And listen, man, we're the only team that's never had 4,000-yard passer. Jared
Unbelievable,
Goff
bro.
had 4,000 yards last year. Jared Goff. So it's time, right?
In Detroit. In Detroit, not even in LA with Odell Beckham and all those guys and Robert Woods.
Exactly.
In Detroit.
So it's not from like our perspective that we're in the industry and this is our job, but it's also just from a fan's perspective. Like it's time. It's time for us to take the next step. And that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see us win more games. I'd love to make sure Justin is the man. And I'd love to see our offense finally become a real NFL offense. If those things happen this year, I'll be happy. If we win 8 games and we're in all the games, right? If we're kind of like the Lions from last season, to me, that's where I would love to see this team go. Of course, I'd love to see them win the Super Bowl and be a contender. I still think we're a season away. I love what they're building. But once we can get a pass rusher in next year's draft with the Panthers pick, which was also another genius move because that sets us up in a good situation. If for some reason Justin gets hurt or he's not the man, we have the Panthers pick. If he is the man, we can keep that pick and add some superstar talent, or we can trade that pick and make our roster better, right? So I really am passionate about this team. You know that, and I think we're in the right direction. I'd love to see them take the next steps, and I do think if all things fall into place next year, I do think we can be a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
We will be, and here's what I hope that they do. You know, Texas just sent I keep saying Texas. Houston set the blueprint, all right, with their 2 first-round picks this year. I'd love it if we did the same next year. You go get the best defensive, best edge rusher, and if you don't sign Claypool or Mooney again, hell, you even go get Marvin Harrison Jr. But you trade back up, get the best edge or 3-tech. And if he's if you sign him, then you get the best 3-tech and the best edge, and now it's on. So that's I hope it works out that way. Hey man, I know you got to run. Do me a favor though, before you go, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, always a pleasure, man. I could do this all day, and
you and me both, bro.
That's the dream, man. One day, man, we got to get a pod and just make our careers off of this. That's the dream, man. Because I could do this all day with you. I always enjoy it. Thank you for having me on. For gambling stuff, if you guys are into gambling, check us out at foxsports.com. We're doing a lot of fun stuff on the odds tab. And then for me, at DocSquad33, you can see it on the screen there on Twitter. Anything you guys want to talk about, I love engaging with people, man. I love Chicago sports, as you guys know, and we can talk for days. So hit me up on Twitter. And Shawn, thanks for always having me on, man. And always, I wanted to give you a shout out, brother. A couple of years ago, I didn't know if this is what I'd be doing in life, man. And you were one of those guys that, you know, just your attitude and your love for the game, and you're just a good dude, man. You always help people. You help people and promote them and kind of help them step up in life. So I appreciate you, man.
Hey, no problem, man. It was easy to see talent when it was there in front of me. I was like, oh, hell yeah, you got to stay in this thing. You're crazy if you don't. And now you're big balling. Hey, so do you have your own little personal private jet that flies you back and forth yet, or is that coming?
That's the dream. One day when it comes, you'll ride with me somewhere, man. We'll go to a Bears game.
So, hey, I love it. Hey, Bob, take care. We'll talk soon. Have a good day.
Thanks, buddy.
All righty. Guys, Vic Chalksheet, my man from Fox Sports. I didn't know he was going to say that. That's funny. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. He mentioned it. I love it. Great stuff. with my man Vic Chokshi, and I'm glad he reiterated what I was saying about the Bulls, about the Bears. All right, they're there. So when people start talking and talking, pump your brakes and the Bears aren't going to be that good and all this nonsense, you're like, no, it's not that we're homers. Okay, it's the fact that we see how this team is being constructed. We understand the aura, the energy, the culture, whatever word you want to use, that's being fortified in this locker room. That was set. Remember, I talked about it last year with the Cubs. I'm like, the culture was set in that locker room. So now when you bring guys on, there's a way to go about things. Same thing here with the Bears, with Ryan Poles, Coach Eberflus. They set that culture for the locker room. Now, people come here, they're excited. All right, there's no bullshitting, no chit chat. Now, granted, there's going to be cliques. There's always cliques in every locker room. Everybody doesn't always get along, and sometimes you just vibe with someone else more than another person. It doesn't make it good or bad. All right, it just makes it is what it is. But as long as you're all on the same page, as long as you're all playing to the echo of the whistle, as long as you're all doing what's necessary to win that particular week, that's all that matters, man. And that's what this Bears team is. That's what's being built here. Then you just added talent. Come on, man. I told you. To borrow the words of the great poet laureate Common from Chicago, it doesn't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. It doesn't. And it's no disrespect to any other team in the NFL, in the NFC North. Our team has just gotten better with what they did. The team as a whole. Because sometimes you add one piece and the sum doesn't equal the parts. That's the case. You got one piece here, but when you put them all together, they're a lot bigger than each individual player. Which is why this Bears team is going to have one hell of a season. I'm telling you, I'm saying I took 10 wins, and people think I'm crazy, and that's okay. Because when they get 10 wins, barring injury, of course, because we're not selling off our defense again like we did last year, because I said they're going to have 9 wins last year, and we were in every game except like 2. But they're going to have one hell of a season. DJ Moore is going to be a huge part of it. And if this dude can get 1,000 yards with us, and here's the great, and I didn't get to say this to Vic. The dude is 26 years old. He's going to be 26 years old. He's going to be 26 years old. He is right in the middle, in the start of his prime, not the middle. He's in the start of his prime. He's got a good 4 to 5 seasons. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. He got a good 5 seasons of quality ball where he could be one of the top receivers in the league for the next 5 seasons. It's exciting. It's exciting. And with a quarterback who's ready to take a next step as a passer, getting a receiver who's just stepping into his prime, come on, man. Upgraded offensive line. Like, these are all things we tell you. These are all things I've told you. These are all the things that I've been reiterating why I'm so excited for this team. And now you see someone else who I hadn't talked to Vic in a while. He sees the same thing. And trust me, he's looking at it from a different perspective because he's a head of sports betting. Like, they got to set the lines. They got to do all this other stuff. So, Vegas ain't about to lose their money. They ain't about to lose their money. Real talk. So when you got a guy who sees things like that, just the way I've been telling you, who works in charge, he's the head of sports betting for Fox Sports. Come on, man. You know what I'm telling you is legit. You know what you're hearing here is legit because other people outside across the nation are seeing it too. Let's take a quick break. And what's really funny is the last break of the show because we're done at 11 today. That's a little nuts though. It's funny, but don't worry about it. It's the last break of the show. So listen, we're going to have some more sports conversation on the other side of the break. All right. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited?
angry, overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
At a time when the news seems as subjective as the partisan politics dividing this country, independent professional journalism has become a resource people need to get the honest and accurate information for their lives. That's why I created JQuinnReports.com. As a born and raised Chicagoan, I know this city better than anyone. So my investigative stories are all original, and they'll go deeper to expose the truth by using information obtained from public information databases and in-depth interviews with the movers and shakers. My future stories will introduce you to people and businesses who are changing the world, not just Chicago. My missing person stories will spotlight those who you don't hear about in the mainstream media who are often overlooked. If you want to hear my personal views on things around the world, check out my blog site, which is based off of factual information and my life experiences. There's also past episodes of my weekly sports podcast show, What's Up Cuz, that I host with my real-life cousin, Lance Urban. So if you're looking for all this information and more, check out jcoydenreports.com and follow me on Twitter at jcoyden.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Rodgers with some time, pocket collapsing, and he's thrown down. Sacked by Travis Gibson. The gain of 4, it's Montgomery again sifting through into the secondary. Montgomery will keep his legs going to the 45-yard line. And the first down. Out of the Chicago timeout, it's 2nd and 10. Montgomery back to Fields, who throws the intermediate route that is caught by Equanimeous St. Brown, the former Packer, on the run to the 25-yard line. Gain of 30 for Chicago.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC. We just got done with my man. Good to see him back, man. Awesome to catch up with him. My man Vic Chokshi. He's the head of sports betting at Fox Sports. And man, it was awesome. Awesome to talk to him. It's been a while. He's been running all over the country, man. Fox is flying from here to LA to New York to Miami. Dude, he charges sports betting to Vegas. He's got to do what he's got to do. I ain't mad at him. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. Man, it's good to see one of the good guys, do so well. All right. He's been nothing but gracious since I met him 5 years ago, and we've been, doing our thing kind of together. And I'm super, super psyched for him, man. That's awesome. That is so awesome. He's the head honcho, sports betting, baby. That's his whole thing for Fox Sports. That's awesome. That is great. His analysis on the Bears. All right. I'm telling you. I'm not just saying it. When you got people who are in charge of betting in Vegas, come on now. It's okay to get excited. All right. Remember, I told you, enjoy the moment. Enjoy it. And I know they're off until July 25th. They have to report on my birthday. Okay. And I think they start camp the next day. So we got about a month left of Bear-less football. Okay, unless they sign an edge rusher or 3-tech or something. We have 1 month. Okay, I told you before, guys, get those summertime festivals in. All right, there's drive-ins going on now. I want to go to the drive-in over in Pilsen. Rooftops, patios. I was out yesterday with the Smoke Fellows out there, out in the South Burbs, for their birthday, for Ben and Damani's birthday. Like I said, rooftops, brunch spots. Take your girl out, because if she's not a football fan, but you know what? Even if she is, take her out to all those things now. Do them now. You can never, ever, ever, ever have too many cool points. No such thing. No such thing as accumulating too many cool points with your significant other. So, and if she loves football, that's even better. All right. So you can continue that as the season goes on. But it's going to be fun. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a lot of things. Okay. I'm looking forward to a lot of things with Chicago sports, because the NHL draft, okay, is coming up. All right. It's coming up this week. 2 days, the 28th and the 29th, or 2 days from today, but the 28th and 29th. And we all know that the Blackhawks are taking Connor Bedard. Okay. They're taking Connor Bedard. All right. You can sit there and talk about, well, what if they trade it? Like, just don't be stupid. Don't. And if anyone says, well, they're getting offers, they might trade it, punch them in the face. Because they don't know a damn thing about sports. Okay, maybe punching people in the face. No, punch them in the face. I'm going to keep it real. Or you know what? Just slap them like, psh, shut up. Psh. All right. This kid is he's a next generational talent. Okay. He's on the level of Austin Matthews. He's on the level of Connor McDavid. All right. This is that dude. He's on the level of Patrick Kane. When Patrick Kane, we got him years ago. Is that dude. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Maybe we're not considering a trade, or depending on what you offer in the trade package. No. He's coming to Chicago. All right. And I said, remember, the Hawks have 2 first-round picks. And if they feel the need to jump up and grab another stud to start fortifying their lines, like Adam Fantilli is another center. Imagine having Connor Bedard in one line as a center, Fantilli the second line as a center. Now the free agents are going to be like, oh, Charlie, hold on, player. I might want to go to the Blackhawks. So I would love for them to do something like that after the Houston Texans set that precedent. I think that'd be awesome. I think that would be amazing. But good things are coming for the Blackhawks. Okay, and no, we're not going to win the Stanley Cup this year or next year or even in 24, 25, 26. But 25, 26, we'll start getting into the playoffs and we're going to be contenders. Now, what pieces they add, what goaltenders they get, that's going to be a big factor. But at that particular point, I say 25, 26, now we're starting to be contenders. We're going to be perennial playoff participants. All right, 25, 26, Justin and DJ Moore could, by that point, lead us to a Super Bowl title. So there are a lot of good things. If you're a Cub fan, man, think of the youngsters you have now. You signed Dansby Swanson. You got youngsters. 25, 26 could be the beginning of another window opening for you guys of you becoming legit World Series contenders. White Sox, man, I don't know where the hell we'll be. It's not going to be very good. The Bulls, I don't know where they're going to be either. But there's some good things coming down the pipeline. And in 2 days, 2.5 days, when Conor McGregor's name is Conor McGregor, when Connor Bedard's name is called, we can all exhale. And we can start the future. I was talking to my cousin at his birthday party on Saturday. after I did the first day of the DJ Moore camp. He's a huge Hawks fan. And I was like, well, what do you think? I asked him, I was like, what do you think? Patrick Kane may say, hey, I'd like to come back and play with his kid. And he said what a lot of people said. I'm really surprised. He said, you know what? Maybe it's just time we cut ties with Kane. Because don't forget, Kane had surgery. Get hip surgery. So what Patrick Kane are you going to get if he comes back? When he comes, he's going to miss part of the opening of the start of the season. So at that point, what Patrick Kane are you getting? Now, it would probably be in the best interest of both parties, just to not invite him back or not have discussions. Okay, and it's cool. All right, sometimes it's just best if parties go their separate ways and give us more cap room for other healthier wingers, healthier players. Because when you get a guy like Connor Bedard, who we'll be drafting in 2 days, you're going to get people who want to come play with him. You're going to get people who want to be on his team. Because if you're one of the studs, you're going to be on his line. And this kid, you saw we talked about the stats. Like in 54 games, he had 71 goals. And I forgot how many assists. Or was it 71 points in 50? I think it was 71 points in 54 games. Insane. Over a point a game. That is insane. So Chicago sports, quite a few, 3 to 5 teams, or 7 teams, because you got the Sky and the Chicago Fire, have things or have the arrow pointing in the right direction. And I'll tell you what, except for the Cubs, because I'm not a Cub fan, I like the other two. I'm excited for it. So it's going to be fun watching these. Like I told you, just as it happens. If it's your team, if the Cubs are doing better next year, enjoy it. Don't worry about, we're getting to the World Series. Don't worry, we're going to choke. Don't worry. Enjoy that particular moment. Enjoy the game. They win, enjoy it. If they lose, all right, be mad about it, have a beer or two, and then we're done, and focus on the next game. It's not waddle or it's not just sit there and stew in our anger for our teams, because we've done that for most of our pro fandom. We're professional fans. Or because our parents were like that, or because a lot of our friends were like that. You don't have to be like that. Yeah, one game sucks. Okay, good. We'll play tomorrow. Because tell you what, Cubs are going to be doing some work. The Blackhawks will be doing some work. The Blackhawks are going to be exciting. It's like the Cubs are exciting. They got the 2 games under 500 now. If they can get over 500, and now you're cooking with gas. Now you're cooking with gas. It was really, really weird today. Like knowing like the show's going to be over in about 9 minutes, because I'm used to having the 3 hours. So it's kind of like a quick abbreviated version of the show. I was like, whoa, that extra hour is a little, I'm missing it a little bit. I'm missing it a little bit. But I think it's important that we do that, just because there is no other, we'll talk NASCAR this week, maybe Wednesday and or Friday, definitely Friday. As the NASCAR race hits Chicago Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be something new. Even if it never happens here again, guess what? It's something that happened here once. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. Cornelius, you said the All 22, after watching the All 22 review on DJ Moore, and Justin and DJ are going to be stealing this. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, like this guy he's a great kid, great young man. I watched him, at the camp, listened to him talk. He did a lot of talking yesterday because they brought us in. It was really funny. They brought us in from the camp because there was some lightning in the area. But when they broke camp and when they went on, they came on the microphone and said, "Hey, we're going to go inside because there's lightning." It was sunny out. It was all sunny. It was sunny. So we go inside the field house over at Hinsdale Central. That's where the camp was at. And we didn't finish the games or anything like that. We had Q&A with Justin. The kids asked a lot of questions. The parents got to ask some questions. And we came out. There was rain on the cars. I was like, holy cow. So we didn't even realize it was raining. But his answers, his ability to connect with the kids was something that I really enjoyed. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was even to the point where I wouldn't say too much, but he just loves the kids a lot. And so sometimes the camp leader's like, all right, listen, you got to go over there. Camp's over, or, Justin's on a free time right now. Like I think he would have been okay with having, more time just interacting with the kids. And the guy who ran the camp was just like, hey, listen, you're done. Get away, kid. In a nice way, of course. In a nice way. But yeah, it had me excited. So it had me excited. The thoughts. One of the kids, what was really funny, one of the kids asked him, another kid, how much money do you have? And the camp counselor goes, I'll answer it. He goes, more than enough, just because kids are. And then one of the kids, it was a tough question. He said, why did you take your hat off in the Saints game? If you recall, they scored a touchdown to tie the game on the last play of the game, a Hail Mary. Well, they were down 7. They scored a touchdown to bring it to within 1, and it was, again, Hail Mary, last play of the game. Obviously, you get to kick the extra point after the touchdown, but after he scored, he took his helmet off. It's like, yeah, he got a penalty for taking his helmet off. They move it back 15 yards, because remember, it's from the 25 now. Move back to the 40, to the 47, so it's a 57-yard field goal for the extra point to tie it, just to tie it. They missed a 57-yard extra point, and Carolina lost. So one of the kids asked him, like, why did you take your helmet off in that game? And from the heart. And he was cool by it. He's like, you know what? There's a lot of emotions in that game. And he just got to me. I get it. I don't condone it. I'd be mad at him if I was his teammate, but I understand it. There are a couple things that I did playing. This is why I get it. This is why I love it. Like I understand it, because there are a couple things that I did that I use that's out of my character when I played. Not a lot, not often, but there are a couple things I did. So I get it. The game is emotional. Especially if you're having, you're having a good game, or the game is good. They're up, you're up. Good, it's a battle, and now that you're getting into it, it's really emotional. Yeah, no, whose kid was that, huh? Crumb snatcher. But yeah, he asked a lot of questions. And the parents asked, what piece of advice, what's the best advice you ever got? And then it was a 2-part question, the lady. And he said, what would you tell your younger self? And I thought that was cool. He was very honest, very open. I just thought he was great camp host. So looking forward to it. 10 fumble game. No, I fumbled twice in a game once. I fumbled twice in a game, once in my life. And I didn't fumble for like the next year and a half. I told you I average 1 fumble a year. This is something I didn't do. Yeah. It happens to the best of us. Well, listen, man, 2 hours is come and gone. 120 minutes is, about up. I want to thank my guest, my man, Vic Chokshi. He's the head of sports betting over at Fox Sports. Good to catch up with him, talk some Bulls, talk some Sox, talk some Cubs, talk some Bears. Great talking with him as always. And I want to thank you guys. You guys for keeping this thread, this chat room lit. I do remember. Junior was a feisty one. Like, don't talk smack to his boy. Don't talk smack to his running back. I do remember. Just must get out of here. That's funny. Well, man, hey, thanks for keeping this chat live and jumping. I appreciate it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a 46-hour break, not 45, not 46-hour break. And on the other side of the break, we'll see you on Wednesday. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time. So for my guy, Steve Weekly, for getting all my clips together, for Elliot Baez, our executive producer, for Clarence Council III, our social media guy, and my co-host at Absentia. Guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Have a wonderful day. It is going to be, it's nice today. It's like a spring day, a little breeze. And then the next couple days, it's supposed to be 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s. So keep warm. If you have a pool, get there. If you're a friend with a pool. Oh, whoa. No. That just changed. Sorry. 74 today, 76 tomorrow, 79 Wednesday, 85 Thursday, 83 Friday, 86 Saturday, 80. All right. So we got a couple cooler days, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Enjoy the next couple of days. Spend it with your loved ones. All right. We truly never know how long we have with them. So make sure you spend time with your loved ones or just call them. Shoot them a quick text. Give them a quick call. Text might be easier because sometimes if they're chatty, they'll drag it on and you just want to say hi. So shoot them a quick text. Just let your loved ones know that you're thinking about them. All right. I guarantee it'll make their day. All right. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, make sure you stay tuned at 12:15. All right. Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown are going to join you for a couple hours and have more Chicago sports talk. All right. So make sure you tune into them. So again, for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, and once again, happy birthday, Ben Mull, Mr. Smokefella himself. Happy birthday to Damani, Lucky Luciano, Damani Pugh. Happy birthday, gentlemen. It was fun kicking it with you yesterday. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. I am gone. Ooh.